Let's now turn our focus onto the business world, where Kenya says the new tariffs imposed by the United States will not have a major impact on trade relations between the two countries. On Wednesday, the United States slapped Kenya with a 10% reciprocal tariff. Kenya was among 90 countries slapped with tariffs by US President Donald Trump. Trade Cabinet Secretary Lee Kinyanjui says this is an opportunity to boost investment in Kenya's textile and value addition sectors to enhance the country's global competitiveness edge.
Today, US President Donald Trump signed a major executive order imposing different tariffs on more than 90 countries that export to the US.
Foreign nations will finally be asked to pay for the privilege of access to our market, the biggest market in the world.
Trump also imposed a 10% baseline tariff on imports, impacting Kenya's export to the United States.
This will be indeed the golden age of America. It's coming back, and we're going to come back very strongly.
Trade between Kenya and the United States stood at $1.5 billion, with Kenya selling goods valued at $728 million to the US. Kenya sold apparel, textile, coffee, tea, and edible fruits and nuts to the United States. Trade Cabinet Secretary Lee Kinyanjui says despite the higher costs, Kenya could gain a competitive advantage as an alternative sourcing destination. A statement by the CS says the tariffs are an opportunity to boost investment in Kenya's textile sectors. KBC Channel 1 spoke to the public policy analyst Leonard Kafafa, who says the move aligns with Kenya's existing 10% duty on American imports, noting that the tariffs' overall impact may be minimal as Kenya's main export markets remain Europe, the Middle East, and parts of Asia.
Yeah, we don't have too much going to the US, so we are not that affected. We are unlike South Africa, say for instance, that does a lot of export and is the biggest import market in Africa by volume, because it imports a lot of raw materials from the rest of the world for its car manufacturing industry or car assembling industry. And a lot of these assembled motor vehicles find their way to the US. So they will be hard hit.
Kafafa warns that the directive overrides previous trade agreements, including the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, set to expire in September unless the deal is renegotiated.
We still have quite a long way to go before we can say we are self-sufficient like the US. We can work with the rest of the continent so that we receive from the continent what we don't have, and we give to the continent what it needs from us.
This policy shift comes as Kenya and the US continue negotiations under the Strategic Trade and Investment Partnership.
So a middle ground will be found eventually that will be to the mutual benefit of the US and Kenya. So this is a good time to come in to improve on our manufacturing, to look at what products we can send out to the US, and to work accordingly to tap into the US market while we have the advantage on our side.
While the new tariff may not cause immediate disruptions, it will surely upend the global trade order.
The longest, America has carried the world with it, and it is now saying it can no longer do that. It's not tenable for the American people to carry the rest of the world. So Trump is basically forcing the rest of the world's hand onto the negotiation table.
For now, Kenyan exports targeting the US market must brace for higher costs in an evolving global trade landscape. Whether negotiations will offer Kenya a reprieve remains uncertain, but as trade dynamics shift, businesses must adapt. Weri Mujenga for Prime Edition.